Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of our weekly coaching webinar. So today we're talking about video. We're talking about how effective video can be for marketing. We're going to talk about one of the easiest ways that you can, not one, a bunch of easy ways you can use video. What you could do with video, from putting them on social to putting them in your funnel or building a funnel that's basically just video, to so many other things that are video. So to talk about the importance of this, literally seconds ago, I just simply Googled how effective are videos. And when I did so, it automatically populated in marketing. So a lot of people are asking that same question. And there's all kinds of crazy stats depending on who's doing it. You know, one of the first searches I have come up here, Adobe Digital recently found that online video is 600% more effective marketing tool than print. We see, just looking at some of the descriptions here, general descriptions, video marketing can explain everything. Create a video to show how it works. 98% of users say that watching an explainer video to learn about a product or service is beneficial. Of those, 83% said their homepage explainer video was effective, and on and on and on, right? I can open any number of different articles here to be able to find more statistics that support it. But the bottom line is videos are effective, guys. It's just the way that it is. What's happening right now is we've got two very important trends that you need to very well be aware of, okay? And the first trend is videos are hot. People would rather watch a 1 or 2 minute video to get their information than read. As a matter of fact, at Credit Suite, almost all of our content has went from long form email content to very short form video that leads, or very short form content that leads to video. Okay, I mean, it's super effective. The other trend you should be aware of is audio. Audio is the new future. You know, nowadays it comes to people wanting to listen to everything, and I'm that guy. Like, I'm always listening to stuff. I listen more than I watch because I can go about my day and listen to stuff. I listen to our sales calls. I listen to all of our team's calls. I listen to podcasts. I listen to audio books. I'm always listening. And sometimes I feel bad for, or I feel good, I think, for my kids. I don't know, but all I know is that they're going to be smart cookies when it comes to marketing because they hear audio stuff all the time. And my daughter now uses closing techniques that I learned from audio books to try to close me on things. I love that girl. She's so awesome. Okay, so it's audio is where it is. The bottom line is people are really learning a lot from audio, and I had a real luxury of going to lunch with Steve Forbes, a few of my friends, and also going to lunch with Jason Pfeffer, who's a friend of mine, who's the editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur. And it's interesting because, you know, listening to Jason, who's the new age media guy at Entrepreneur, and Steve Forbes, who's obviously the old school, and that was something that came up. What's the future of media? And both of them overwhelmingly agreed that audio was the future. So these new trends of video and audio is where it's going to be. You need to get on board. If you're not on board, video is where it's at, and any statistic you look at is going to show you things like this, that it's hundreds of % more effective than print in a lot of cases. Don't get me wrong, okay, there's a lot of people on here that may be fans of direct mail, long form content. I'm a Dan Kennedy fan. I'm a huge Dan Kennedy fan, and I still believe in direct mail, and I still believe in long form content. And I think that in an age where everything is going to video, stuff like long form print content is very effective because few people are doing it. So I'm very big in both worlds. I'm very big on jumping on the bandwagon and going where everybody's going because it's effective and it works. And I'm also big on going against the grain and still doing some of the old school long form direct mail type content because it's effective because nobody else is doing it. But you can't ignore video. You just can't. It's so big nowadays. It's so needed that it's something you need to consider. So how do you use video? Well, if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Credit Suite, you know, there's a good chance that you're going to see a lot of these types of videos on there that are different kinds of videos that can be effective. You know, and you're going to see that we're testing a lot of different kinds of content. I mean, you can see all this stuff here as you just look at what I'm looking at. These are all scheduled to not be released. So think about how nice that is when you can do what we're doing here. And I'm going to show you how to do this, where you could just have all of your content lined up. I mean, I don't know how many videos there are here, but there's probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I mean, there's probably 40 different videos here that are scheduled. And on top of these 40 that are scheduled, we also have another 40 or 50 that I just sent to them the other day that will be scheduled. So a lot of things with video that you could be able to learn just by going here and kind of seeing some of the things that we're doing. So there's a lot of different formats of video you could use. One of my favorites and my newest favorite is right here. It's head and shoulders videos. I love this. This is the perfect. I'll just stay right here because that's just probably one of the worst pictures you could get. So these are very effective. And what I like about head and shoulders videos is that head and shoulders videos are super simple. All you have to do is you just have to go in and you just have to film, turn on your camera and just start filming. Now, there's a couple ways you could do these. If you're like me, you know, I know my content. You know, you could put me in any situation and talk about business credit financing, and I could talk for literally hours and hours about my content and feel very comfortable answering just about every question that there is because I know my content. So I can come in and film a video and I can make the topic how to build business credit for your EIN, or 5 vendors that'll help you build business credit, or 3 easy ways to get loans with bad credit. And somebody could tell me a minute before that I need to be able to present on that, and I could go because I know my content. So if you're one of those people, it becomes very easy to do because you could just film a lot of these videos in one setting. And that's what I do. What I typically do is I'll come in every month and I'll film so many of these kind of videos. Now, there's a few different kind of videos that I film. One of them are right here. These are these 3 to 10-minute videos that are just head and shoulder videos, just like this, of me just talking and teaching about a topic. Now, I will have some graphic overlays in. So I have my graphic guy come in and insert these blue, and let me see if I can play one of these to show you what these actually look like. You don't need to do this, okay? You don't need to be fancy, and that's what I'm trying to teach you is that I've learned that, you know, you could sit there and say, I'm going to go do this. But the problem is that if it's difficult, you're probably realistically not going to do this. Okay, so, and by the way, I listen to almost all videos now, like a playback speed of like 2. Especially, I like to listen to myself at double playback speed. So I'll see if one of these has some of these video breaks in there. Okay, and I don't know if we have, okay, so here's one of these right here. So we do a lot of this now, where it's a head and shoulders video, and then I go through the video once it's done, and then I find things like this that are just simple bullets or statements that makes it really easy to be able to come in here and be able to just tell my graphics guy, hey, at 25 seconds into the video, put this content up there. And we had to go back and forth a couple times and decide, you know, blue, if you don't know, is my favorite color, and you will know because so much of what we do is blue. Okay, but you can see that we just said, okay, we like this look, you know, let's put our domain here and let's put our logo here and let's make it all blue. And I give them what I want bolded or underlined, and he'll just come in on a topic that I'm teaching on, and I'll say, hey, 25 seconds into this video, put this sentence: personal guarantees are required because your business doesn't have enough established credit to stand on its own. And I'll underline, doesn't have enough established credit. And once we decide on a format here, in this case, it's blue with white font, website top right, logo top left. By the way, this is our brand style guides. Okay, our brand style guide tells us where to put URLs and logos, so it's consistent. If you don't know a lot about brand style guides, then look back to your weekly training. I showed you a brand style guide and showed you how to create one. I even gave you access to ours to use as a template. So these are simple videos. These are head and shoulder videos of me talking. Okay, and then on top of head and shoulder videos, I then have little things like this that will come in. Sometimes near the end of the video like this, you'll see an actual URL will pop up. So you'll have a URL, or what's called the call to action video or call to action is right here. So you can see that this is just a simple call to action where I've got, here's the call to action I wanted to take, and I'll put that text up on the actual video. But as you guys can see, these are just super simple. Okay, and then sometimes we'll insert some color like this to make it stick out. Use vendors like Uline and Quill to establish initial credit. So I like head and shoulders videos because head and shoulders videos are very, very easy to film. You know, all you really need to do is you just need to come in here and you just need to actually fire up a camera and then go and film the video. And if it's all you did, you'd be fine. You need to do nothing else. You don't. But if you are willing to take the extra step of having editing, then I go back through this video at double the speed, and then I stop, and then I'll get a Word document. I'll send it with a link to this video, and I'll say, hey, let me see if I could find any of those to actually show you what it looks like when I edit it. And then I say, hey, you know, here are, you know, I want these videos filmed, and I want you to basically come in and insert things at these different points in time. Okay, and I'm trying to find an example of what that may look like before it actually, or when it actually gets done. Okay, so again, the very good way to go, Head and Shoulders, you just simply film the actual video, and then if you're willing to take an extra step, you can do something like this, and you have to test to figure out what you think looks good. But if you come in here and you do something like this, and you can add these kind of things in here, okay, and then it makes it super simple for you to come in and then be able to add some content to highlight what you're talking about. Okay, and here we go. Here's an example of what this looks like when I create it. So I give them a link here to the video, and then I'll say, hey, 15 seconds in, grab your free guide on 27 ways to get financing at creditsuite.com/27. Hey, 45 seconds in, grab your free Lexus Texas guide at creditsuite.com/Lexus. So then I put in here and I bold and I underline what I want them to bold and underline, or in this case, my bolding is this color. I think it's green, colorblind, but the bolding means that color. So I come in, work with my graphics guy. I say the template is our logo here, our website here. Bolding means you use this color. Okay, underlining means that you just simply underline. Okay, and that's what that actually comes down to. And then I just film the videos. Now, when I do this, I just write down these topics. Hey, I want to do a topic on how to get funding for your business. What is the retail credit tier? Best vendors for business credit. I'll think of 5-10 different topics to cover, and I film them all at one time. So typically in one day, I'll film 10 or more of these type of videos. They're all 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 minutes. I'll reserve the day to do it. Here's the problem. I've learned in my experience, you shouldn't try to do videos when you're not on. And what I mean by that is there's days I can fire up the camera and I could just knock out a video in 1 or 2 takes. I'm like, that was awesome. I go to the second video, knock it out in 1 or 2 takes. That was awesome. Then there's days where I go to do the first one and I have to stop and redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it. And by the 5th time I redo it, I say, I'm done, I'm out. And I stop filming videos that day. It's just not a day I'm on to film video. My brain ain't working. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe I didn't get a good enough breakfast. Don't know what it is. Even though I sleep the same amount every night, eat the same breakfast every morning. Don't know what it is, but something's off. And the next day I go in and knock out videos. I've learned that because I learned it the hard way. When I insist that this is my video day and I go to knock out videos on a bad day, man, I will spend 10 times longer to get this done than on a day I'm on. So Head and Shoulder videos, really super simple to do. Okay, that comes down to the background you use. You see my background. Okay, I use a Canon EOS 80D camera. I'm not saying this is cheap, but my Canon EOS that I had before lasted me for like 20 years of my life. So these are long-lasting cameras, and it's a Canon EOS 80D. There's a lot of Canon EOS type of cameras. These are very good cameras. And what I do is I have it set up on my desk. I use a standing desk. I'm looking at it right now. I have a monitor to my left, a monitor to my right. I don't think I can turn on my video here. Let me see, share my screen. Should I turn on video? I don't think I know how to do that. Okay, and Daniel Garcia, you have some questions, and you have some questions here. I'm going to get that answered in a second. Let me just finish this. So again, I think that you can come in and use a Canon EOS 80D is what I use. There's a lot of other different kinds you can use. I have 2 monitors on my desk. One is kind of tilted to the right, one's tilted to the left. And then my camera's dead center in the middle on a tripod, not a tripod, a tripod. And then that actually, the lens I use is a Canon zoom lens EFS 80-55mm. Now, when I bought my Canon EOS on Amazon, it came with this lens, an EFS, an 80-55mm lens. Okay, so again, that is what I use, but what I like about this lens is that it basically blurs out my background and then it just brings me to the forefront. So here, I'll show you what the video actually looks like and you can see what I'm talking about. So this is, we'll go here and then I'll get to a couple questions because I see. Okay, so you can see this is what this looks like. So you can see that my background is blurred out. Now I'm blurred here because I stopped it in motion. But you can see that I am clear and then my background is blurred out. I like this background. Now I've got some other people that I help with doing videos and they just film with a white backdrop behind them. And I think that's okay too. I've seen people use green and blue and all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't like any of it. I just don't think it looks good, and I think it doesn't work well with their actual clothes either. But you could, or it blends in and out, or with their clothes, it doesn't look good. I like this camera and this lens because it blurs out my background, and then I'm able to come in here and I'm able to actually have me crystal clear, and then this behind me in the background. Now, I've seen some great videos, and I got to tell you, some of the ones that I actually, I'll try to think of some examples here and show you, but I've seen some really good videos that are even better than this, and there's softwares you can use that put your company logo here on the video, that put your company name, that put your website on the video. Your editing can do that. There's also technology you could use that does this while you're filming the video. Okay, and one of the best that I found on this is Josh Elledge. So Josh he helps us with PR and does a really good job of this. But before I get too far in, I think I have a couple questions. Daniel says, YouTube deactivated my Shining Business Credit Group channel. Credits we created. I never once added or removed a video. If you just let us know about that, YouTube started coming in and shutting down channels that had duplicate content. We had that exact same issue. And so we can help you with the solution there. We addressed that in another webinar. The answer is just that when you put videos, and again, we never had this problem for years, and then YouTube made a change where when they're seeing duplicate video content, then what they started doing was either removing the video content or shutting down the channel. And the fix for that was all you have to do is just upload it with a different root name. But again, nothing we can do in that case to prevent that. YouTube, after many years, made that change. So your support team can help you as well, support@creditsuite.com. But again, now what we do with YouTube videos that we give you in the back office is all you have to do is change the root name of the video and upload it, and then YouTube does not see that video as a duplicate. So hopefully that helps you. You said Canon EOS 80D, not add. Yeah, you're correct. Canon EOS 80D, then that can actually do that. That can actually help you there. The Canon EOS 80D is what is actually working for me, Jonathan. So hopefully that helps you there. So Josh Elledge, Josh at Up My Influence does probably some of the best video quality stuff that I've ever seen. And I don't know here if he has his stuff on here or not. But if he does, and let me try to see if you can connect, and let me see if we can see some of his YouTube content. So he has some of the best video background drops that I see that I really like. And if you go and look at Josh's channel, there's a lot of good ideas that I'm sure you're able to get here. But you can see how Josh does it. So Josh was the one that really helped me get my format set up. He has the chair in the background. He has a sign. You can see that the backdrop was actually blurred out. He's front and center. I like how he put his name here, his logo here, his website, his actual handle down here. And he does this when he's filming the videos. This stuff isn't edited in. The software that he uses actually puts his information here on the video. So really good. Josh Elledge is his name. You can see right here. He does a lot for us for public relations or PR. You can look at his video format and get a lot of good ideas of what he does and how he does it. But again, being able to put all of this stuff on the front of the video is a great way to go too. And you can do that with a little bit of software and make it pretty simple. So again, that's probably one of the easiest formats that you're actually going to use, is being able to use a format that's just head and shoulders. Now, when it comes to that, you can see that what I'm wearing really doesn't matter, because in most of these videos, you can't see more than maybe my collar, although I always wear exactly the same thing, which are polos that are Credit Suite polos. So even if you could see that, that's what you'd see. But again, in most cases, that really doesn't even make a difference, okay? Because in a lot of cases, they can't see you anyways in that actual video, okay? Excuse me, I'm working from the home office, so I think my dog is actually coming in here in the background. Okay, so that being said, you can come in and use a lot of different video formats, but I like the head and shoulders because you could just fire up a video and go. Now the question becomes, are you going to go freelance and are you going to just go, freestyle? Or the second thing is or are you going to come in here and you're actually going to, the second option is, are you then going to come in and actually use a teleprompter, which is another option, or memorize? What I found is that you can go to Amazon, and I just bought one and I have not used it yet because most of my stuff I just freestyle. But the problem is, what I found is that my marketing team will come to me and will say, hey, can you film this video? Well, I had no problem filming the video, but then they started coming and producing 2- and 3-page scripts for me to follow. I'm not going to memorize a 2- or 3-page script, and I'm not going to come in and record that in multiple different videos and splice it together. So I just bought this right here, and I got to tell you, I love it. I mean, I have not really had a chance to dig in and use it a lot, but it's 165 bucks. It's the whole setup here that's a teleprompter. And all I do is put my phone or my iPad right here. And then with my phone or my iPad here, you can get different apps that then allow you to come in and allow you to then be able to actually film and be able to read. So this goes in front of my camera. The teleprompter then projects right on this screen the words I'm using. And then I use an app now that's $9.99 a month or 10 bucks. And the app goes with my speaking. So if I slow down, then the teleprompter will slow down. If I speed up, then the teleprompter speeds up. If I stop and start talking about other things and then pick up again, then it will then pick up where I left off. So this is very cheap, 165 bucks. If you're not good at just freestyling the videos, you can easily come in, use an iPad, use an iPhone, get a setup like this for 165 bucks, set your camera up, and it gives you access to a teleprompter that then from that point makes it really easy for you to just type in whatever it is you want to say in a short script and go and knock it out. So I was helping a buddy of mine build a funnel, his funnel. And this was a fairly easy process, not easy, but it was a fairly simple process to actually follow. The first thing that we did was come up with the topics that he was going to cover. Now, he's in consumer credit repair. So we talked about the Fair Credit Reporting Act, why it works, the FICO score overview, each component of the FICO score. There's 5 components of the FICO score. One was for a consultation. One was on the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. So we kind of got down and wrote down 10 different topics to do the videos on. Next, he produced a short script that was a 1 to 2 minute script that explained what he wanted to explain in that video. Once he did that, he put it into his teleprompter and he just sat right there and recorded the videos in a matter of hours in one day. So if you're using a teleprompter, it's much easier than the way I do it. And that's why I might start using a teleprompter for all my content. Because on mine, I just think about what I'm going to say, and then I click, boom, record, and then I go live and start recording. With a teleprompter, you could do exactly what I said. Put down the list of video content that you want to cover, then come in and actually write the short script for what you're going to cover. Then you put it into the teleprompter for very little money, and then boom, you just go live, and all you have to do is, if your wording on that script makes sense, then you could just knock out those videos in a very short period of time. I don't use a teleprompter for a lot of these, but I'm still able to freestyle and do 3 to 5 minute videos fairly easy because I know my content. Either way, it can definitely work for you. Now, there's a lot of other styles beyond just this that you can work with as well. Okay, so you might actually use another style, and the other style may be where you actually come in and do PowerPoints. So you may actually want to come in and use PowerPoints instead of actually doing this. And I'm trying to find a PowerPoint that we use. So for example, one of the things that we're doing now is we're using training, or we're using small 1 minute videos that are called training tips. And this is an example of these, but I want to try to even find a better example of these because we have a new format that we're now using as well for these that I think can be pretty powerful. So let me try to find that. But these are just very short PowerPoints where you can see I come up with kind of an intro slide and then a little bit of content, very little content, and then an outro slide, all with call to action. Okay, so this is another style that's really super to film and really super simple to film. You don't have to come in. You don't have to actually, go into a front of a camera. You don't have to do head and shoulders. You could just simply fire up your computer and you can record this using the PowerPoint presentation instead. And if you do that, can be super effective for you as well. So you can also come in here and you can use this kind of style where you're just coming in and doing an intro slide. If you have that, a little bit of content, and an exit slide, And in doing so, you're then able to come in and be able to make these work as well. I do these for basically really short training videos. 1 minute to few minute tips is what I do. Okay, so let me see here. Here's a PowerPoint. I think that is an example of this. Okay, so these are our new ones here. These are the brand new style that we're using. So you can see, get capital to start a business. Conventional banks are not a good place for startup financing. And then we come in, we talk about this for about 1 minute, then we give them a call to action to grab the free guide. And so these are also ones that I can do in one setting. It doesn't take a lot to be able to do so. And I'm actually gonna try to, I don't know how many of these things I can actually have open here, but let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to close some of these. Okay, and then I'll pull this up and show you something else. So again, with these, you're able to come in and do these PowerPoints that are very short PowerPoints that give you, once you develop the style that you like, what we have here, it's very simple because the content is very short and a call to action. Intro slide, content, and then there's a call to action of what we want them to do. So these are really easy to be able to come in and be able to create as well, and you don't need to be in front of a camera. So some of you probably don't want to be in front of a camera. That's okay. You don't have to. What's nice about using PowerPoints like this is you can still have a lot of good content. You can still film a lot of these in a very short period of time. You're able to come in and do 1 minute to a few minute videos. Okay, but on top of that, you're able to do a lot of these at once, and they still look really good. And the other nice thing about this is these are just basically shortened versions of our already made PowerPoints. So if you're doing this for business credit financing and you want content, all you have to do is go in your back office and get the actual PowerPoints we have there. Or you can actually come in on the second way, and you can basically, if you're executive, get access to even more PowerPoints. But here's what's interesting. I'm going to show you how we did this. You know, if you've ever heard me talk about these type of things, you'll see that I'm really big on repurposing content. Meaning, if you're going to take the time to do something one time, you should create multiple different purposes you could use that for. So when we look at this, all these 1 minute to 5 minute videos, all these come from one webinar we did on how to get capital to start a business. So here we go. This is a whole presentation on how to get capital to start a business. Now remember that you have access to a lot of PowerPoints in your back office as a partner. If you are an executive member, which is $99 a month, okay, if you're executive, you get access to my PowerPoints before I even release them. Okay, you're getting access to my PowerPoints about 2 to 3 weeks before I even film the topic. So what I'm showing you, if you're doing this, what I'm teaching you today for business credit financing, the hardest part is all done because the content is done. But if not, it's still very valuable because once you do one PowerPoint like this, we're going to make it into multiple purposes. So how we do it, if you look at this, how to get capital to start a business. It starts with conventional banks are not a good place for startup financing. Well, when we look at these shortened 1 minute tips here, we see the very first one is conventional banks are not a good place for startup financing. And we just basically condensed this slide. Then if we look at the second one, unsecured business financing, all that point is the second slide from this presentation. If we look at the next one, okay, startup loans, guess what? The next slide that we have here is the next of those 1 minute tips. The next tip that we have here is types of collateral you can use to get funding. Guess what? Types of collateral you can use to get funding. So what we ultimately did, if you think about how you can maximize your time here, is we did one webinar on how to get capital for a startup business. One webinar. That webinar went live on YouTube. So we have a YouTube live that we actually did, and we do the webinar at the same time. We do a webinar, promote it to our database, and we do a YouTube live. So we have a YouTube live and we have a webinar. Okay, now on top of that, we will then take the actual PowerPoint, make it into a Word document, get the Word document to a voiceover girl, and she will record a voiceover, and our virtual assistant will go through this entire webinar with a voiceover girl, with the voiceover, and then we'll then click the slides to go with the voiceover. So I have the YouTube live, the original webinar to begin with. Now the PowerPoint gets a voiceover done and becomes a professional video with voiceover, which are all in your back office as well. Then we'll create these into be smaller ones. So we might create this, for example, a smaller one with voiceover is, you know, types of collateral you can use to get financing. So we get that purpose out of it. Okay. Then on top of it, the audio from that webinar becomes a podcast. So yet another purpose. This whole PowerPoint gets put into a Word doc for the voiceover girl. Told you that. That also becomes a blog post. It also becomes articles we could use. And then on top of all of those things I've just taught you how to do, we also break it down into its small components to do 1 to 3 minute video tips as well. So that's a good way to repurpose one piece of content and use it many different ways and splinter the content, including to do these kind of 1 minute to 3 minute video tips. So yet another style of video you can do. You can come in and do the head and shoulders. You can come in and do full-blown PowerPoint presentations like you see here that are 30 minutes to an hour long. You can then come in and you can do short videos, as you see here, that are 1 to 3 to 5 minute videos as well. So that way it really mixes up the content on your channel. We've got 3, 4, 5 minute content, a lot of it. Bin luck, we've got a 40-minute content piece here. We've got some stuff that's less than a minute that's on here. We have a lot of videos that we have that are 1 minute videos on here as well. So there's many different ways you're able to then use that video content. Now, another thing we start to do a lot of is we do a lot of live streaming. We're getting ready to go to Instagram, and we also do Facebook Live, and we do YouTube Live. Now, what's nice about Facebook Live is we now download these videos from Facebook and put them onto our YouTube channel. So again, by going live on Facebook, we're able to come in and be able to get the Facebook exposure we do, but then we're also able to come in and put that same video on YouTube and get that video played off on YouTube as well. So this is, again, just more ways you can multi-purpose that content, and you can use that content for a lot of different purposes other than just that. So many different ways that you're able to be able to do videos and make it work. Now, again, if you're going to do them on YouTube and things like this, you want to address things like the images here, the thumbnail images, etc., stuff like that. But again, that's a whole other different content video, what we've already done, which is how to be able to succeed with YouTube. Okay, so I won't talk a lot about that. And this one, I just want to talk a little bit more about videos. So now let's talk about topics. What do you come up with topic-wise? Well, I come up with anything that's relevant to our customers. And I'll tell you, one of the best ways to get content ideas is to look at questions that your customers are asking you. So if you have social media channels like Facebook, like YouTube, if you go live on social media channels, if you get emails, whatever questions people ask you, those are great topics for videos. We get a lot of questions about what vendors do we use to build business credit, or how to get a business loan if you have bad credit, or how you get loan to start a business, or how you get credit line to start a business. When we hear these questions, we immediately say, if you're asking it, there's probably a lot of other people that want to know the same thing. And then what I've always done is I keep a log of all the time that I have those questions. On my to-do list, I just start to write any ideas I have through a month of an idea for an actual video concept. Now, again, if you look through, you've already seen that we've already come up with our webinars, and we do the same thing. A lot of these are designed to answer questions people have, and we do long webinars. And then those create those 1 minute short tips. But beyond those, I like to record these 3, 4, 5 minute videos, and all of my content that's about that long all comes down to being able to just think of ideas. And I either think of stuff that I think is relevant to our customers, or again, a lot of it just comes down to questions I'm asked. So if you're in the credit repair business, for example, why credit repair works, or how credit repair works, or how the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act works, or how you get a repossession removed from your credit report, or how you get your credit scores fixed, and how the FICO score works. I mean, there's a million questions that people ask. The best thing to do is when people ask you questions, write down the question that you're being asked, and then film a video on that. And the other thing I will tell you is that when we're doing a strategy like YouTube, we are mixing up the content. We have a combination of 1 minute videos that we use from these short training tips. We have a combination of 3, 4, 5 minute videos here. You can see that we do 30-minute to hour-long full webinars through our YouTube Live. So we have that kind of content on here as well. So we try to mix it up to see what YouTube likes and what our customers like. And there's all kinds of analytics on places like YouTube where you can easily monitor that to figure out exactly what it is that they like to see. So you can figure out the actual format that people are liking to see and then go with that format. So that's a lot of the stuff you need to know on videos. I might not even really go an hour here because, again, what it really comes down to is what we've already talked about. The first thing about filming videos is just to start filming videos. And I see a lot of people don't take that first step. But that's exactly what you do want to do, is start filming. Now you can see here, these are my podcasts. So I do a lot of podcast interviews as well. And podcast interviews are head and shoulders, of course. But the other thing is these head and shoulders are then interview format with other people. So you could do that as well. You could do interview format. Now, one of the things I didn't mention is that I use Loom to actually film my videos. Loom is free for the most part. You could pay for increased storage. But Loom, as you can see, this gives you an example. So we can see here 11 days ago, right? So 11 days ago, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos I filmed on that day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we see 13 days ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos. Then another day I filmed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos. Okay, so again, you can see how just in a few days I was able to do whatever that is, 25, 30 different videos. You can also see on these ones that I kept trying to keep it less than a minute. And I'm keeping it less than a minute because I want these to be able to be used in places like our Instagram stories. So again, where you're going to use the content becomes important. Where are you going to use the content? Because the format of content you're going to use may be different that works from channel to channel. So for example, these 1-minute tips work pretty well for us in our Facebook groups, and they're also pretty good for us on Instagram Live, but not in other places. So this is why we produce so many different kinds of content. These are all 1 minute, 55 seconds, 51, 56, 55, 52. There's a reason I'm intentionally keeping the content less than a minute. I'm keeping it less than a minute because I want to use it in places like Instagram Live. That I'm specifically designing it for that purpose. There's a reason I do these videos as 3 to 5 minute videos that you're seeing that we had on the first page, these 4 and 5 minute videos. The reason is because YouTube has now decided this is what they like. They like something, it's 3, 4, 5 minutes that answers somebody's question and gives them all the information they want to see. So we now do this. We now come in and we will actually come in and we will film 3, 4, 5 minute videos. And these are mostly designed for YouTube because YouTube likes this content. So we're producing this content for YouTube. We're producing these 1-minute videos for Instagram. So again, the key is not to produce a bunch of different content that you can only use one place. Remember, these 1-minute videos came from one master YouTube Live that we did. We just found a way to use the master YouTube Live template to produce videos that work well on Instagram as well. So that's just repurposing content for multiple purposes. Where can you use this content? Well, here's how and where you can consider using it. Obviously, video storing channels like Vimeo or for now, I use Venmo all the time to send money. So I am now completely confusing Vimeo and Venmo all the time, just in case you ever do that. So there's Vimeo and there's YouTube. Great video hosting places that you get a lot of traction with YouTube, not as much with Vimeo. Okay, but a great place to go here is right on YouTube, where you can actually put the content there, 3, 4, 5 minutes, or our hour-long content goes there. Your other social media channels as well. So for on Facebook, we have a lot of content that we'll post here. You can come in and you can see some of our videos, whether they be 60-second business credit tips. So here's a lot of those 60-second tips. You can see we're using a lot of those on Facebook. Other tips. You can also see here that we go live on Facebook as well, and we use those Facebook Lives on places like YouTube. I've already told you that we use 1-minute tip in our Instagram page and our Instagram stories. So you're noticing a theme here that the video content can be used on social media and your most popular social media channels, and we use a combination of all of it on our Twitter. And then on our podcast, we use videos as well, but what we do is we come in and we use the audio in a lot of cases. So some of our podcasts, you can actually access video on iTunes. If you go to iTunes, you're going to always see video. But again, as I looked at, I think on one of these other pages, you see a lot of our podcast interviews here. These podcast interviews, we're taking the audio from these and we're using those for our podcast in places like Instagram. So where can you use video? All your social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. As I've already shown you, the format or the length of video is going to change, and I change up the video a little as well. PowerPoints versus Head and Shoulders. I change it up to make an interview format like we see here. So I'm trying to change it up a little and use different kinds of formats to keep it interesting for people and different links for different kind of channels. I've already told you could pull the audio out and use for podcasting as well. You also use a lot of these for your video funnel or for your actual sales funnel as well. So a lot of these can actually be put into your actual sales funnel. So a lot of these you can come in and you could film one that's actually about 2 to 5 minutes long, maybe 1 to 5 minute long, and you can use those in the funnel. Now, if you attended our webinar last week, you saw that we went through our actual sales funnel. And if you did that, then you actually would see that we use a lot of these short ones in our funnel. We come up with a very short email, something that says, hey, contact first name, so hey, Ty, here's do you know the things on your business credit, 5 things on your business credit report that you need to know about? Then watch this 1-minute video to be able to find out, so you can easily come in here and you're able to come in and be able to actually do something to that effect, where you're able to come in and use a short email that says, hey, the 3 best ways to improve your business credit report and score. Hey, click here to watch a 2-minute video that explains to you all 3. These tips will help you build a business credit score quickly, so make sure you check out the video. Videos make it much easier to create an email funnel now, because the videos are so short that you're able to come in and you're able to actually come in and reduce the actual content that you're delivering. So you're able to come in here and you're able to basically be able to create something that is very short content. Hey, contact first name. Do you know the 3 most popular, or there are 3 credit scores that are commonly used by lenders and credit issuers to determine if you should be approved or declined? Click here to watch this 3-minute video that outlines all 3. By knowing these 3, you're going to be able to build your business credit scores quickly. Okay, so something to that effect. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But that's exactly how you're able to do that. So hopefully that kind of gives you some insight for being able to come in and be able to use videos for emails as well. But that makes it really easy. If you don't have an email funnel for credit repair industry, for example, man, it's super simple to do that. First, start with the word document and document the name of all the 10 videos you want to record. 1 on FICO score, 1 on FCRA, 1 on FDCPA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, 1 on the FICO score, 1 on payment history from FICO score, 1 on utilization from FICO score, 1 on length of credit history from FICO score, 1 on inquiries from FICO score, 1 on mixed credit, all 5 of the components of FICO score. That's like 10 videos I just rattled off. Then you come in and write the script, or like me, just start Loom up. Loom makes it really easy. I can either, if I start Loom right now, Loom's going to ask me what I want to do. Do I want to record my screen and cam? Do I want to record my just screen only? Do I want to do cam only? Okay, so you can see here that it makes it super simple to be able to come in and choose all 3 of these. I can either do only my screen, I can do my screen and my cam, I can do my cam only. Okay, and I can go from that way. Okay, so it makes it super simple to then adjust your audio, your video settings, and then you just hit start recording. So Loom is super simple and easy to use. I mean, really simple to be able to come in and be able to record videos, and it's free. Besides like paying for extra storage, I think they have an upgraded account. So you can use Loom and make it super simple to do these videos as well. But in that case, I come in, I write down my 10 topics, I write down my 10 scripts, or in my case, I'm just willing to just fire up the video and just go at it and freestyle without it actually being scripted. And if you're going to script it, then you throw your script into the $160 teleprompter I just showed you how to get, and then it's really simple. because then you just sit there and just read the teleprompter and record, and then stop the recording, and then record your next one and record your next one. Or better yet, you can record them all in one setting if you want to, and then have your video editor edit them out. And don't forget, you can go to Fiverr.com and get all kinds of video editors. So if you don't have a video editor, then go to Fiverr.com and you can easily come in, and you're able to then easily come in, and I don't know what this is, try to pull it up, Zoom or Loom again, but you can easily come in and then find somebody super cheap on Fiverr.com that can do video editing for you. And then typically, if I find somebody good on Fiverr, then I just kind of keep them in my Rolodex. And then that being said, then I can come back and access that at a later time. Okay, so again, very super simple. Come in, write down my 10 topics. If you don't know, we already talked about how to get those topics. Listen to questions other people are asking. Go into groups that are talking about what you sell. If it's credit repair, go into a group on credit repair. Okay, if it's business credit financing, go to a group on business credit financing. See all the questions people are asking. Make a list. Okay, and then start filming those videos just as we talked about, either freestyle using Loom, or come in and actually write the script, teleprompter, record that way. Use Fiverr to get a simple video editor to edit it. Then all you have to do is actually produce the actual content. And with the content, as we talked about, you're able to come in and write down super simple. And I'm trying to see what an email will look like, but I don't see. I'm trying to find an email with a short video that you can kind of see. But here you go. This is what our emails are like now. Okay, so you can see that our emails now are super simple. Okay, hey, contact first name. Would you like to see over 100 real business credit approvals? Well, so you'll know what types of approvals you can expect to get working with us. Well, click here to access a 4-minute video where we review over 100 real business credit results. In this video, you'll get a look at all types of approvals to see what you can expect for your business. So you can see that now our emails are super short, and all they do is reference a video. You can see the format. Hey, contact first name, a question or a statement about what the video is about. Click here to access it, and we tell them how long the video is. We let them determine when they want to watch it. Okay, if I'm in the middle of a workday and I see a 1 or a 2-minute video on a topic I want to see, I'm going to check that out. I don't like to click a video and then realize it's like some 50-minute video. So I like to give them a heads up of how long the video is going to be. And then I give them an idea of what they're going to get from that video. It's the same format. Hey, here's what the video is about: 100 real business credit approvals. Click here and you're going to access a 4-minute video that shows you. What are you going to get from this video? Well, in this video, you'll get a look at all types of approvals. You'll see what you can expect for your business. It's a very similar format in almost all of the emails that we use for those actual videos. And then I'm trying to see if there's any one of those. And here's another one of those. Hey, what to expect working with us? That's the subject line. Hey, contact first name. We put together a 6-minute video that shows you exactly what happens the minute you enroll with us. Click here to check it out. And then again, remember, here's what the video is about. Okay, and then I'm telling them a summary. In this video, you'll also learn how fast you can get business credit with us. Plus, you'll see some hacks we use to ensure that you get the most money and get credit quickly. So these are super short emails. Now, anybody can write emails when you have short videos like this, because the videos are able to do the selling for you, and the content can be very short. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is that with Loom, it's a screen share. So when you're using Loom, like you see these videos wherever I just was on Loom, and when you go to Loom, you know, as you saw, you could do a screen share or a cam. So anything you can share on a screen, you can do as well. It's not like you need a PowerPoint. It's not like you need a Head and Shoulders video like this, right? And by the way, I use Loom to teach all kinds of different lessons, not even just for prospects and clients, but I do it to give instructions to our team as well. So this is me using Loom as instructions on our promotional calendar, for example. But I can use Loom, film my screen, and then I can do all kinds of things. So for example, let me give you an example. Okay, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over a business credit report. Okay, and so now I can fire up Loom and I can fire up this real business credit report. Okay, I'm going to zoom it down to 100%, And then here's how my video starts. I record Loom and go, hey, Cy with Credit Suite. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what's on your Experian Business Credit Report. By the end of this video, you're going to know what's on an Experian Business Credit Report. You're going to know 3 things you can do to fix your scores, and you're going to know the secret things that are on this credit report that most people don't even know are here, right? So let's dive in and take a look. Here's an Experian Business Credit Report. By the way, I can show you this credit report because it's publicly accessible information. I don't require permission to be able to do so. You can see here that here's the business address information. You can see here's this credit score. Here's what this credit score means. You can see here that here's this, and here's the range of the credit score that's good. Here's the stuff that's affecting the credit score. Here's what that credit score actually means. There's another score here, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can film anything that's on my screen. So I talked to you about PowerPoints. I talked to you about Head and Shoulders. I talked to you about 1-minute tips. But you can do any format you want. I mean, I could sit here and show this example of what a good, this video could be on how one account on your business credit report can give you a good score. One account gives you a good score. The next video I'm going to do is going to show you how you could be issued a failing business credit score, even with no credit. So here's a failing business credit score. You can see it's super high risk, about as high risk as you can get. You can also see them at the end of the credit report. There is nothing below this. This is the end. There is no credit, and they're given a failing score. So think about that. Just Experian credit report review, I could do 5 to 10 different videos just based on a review of this, just filming up Loom. I don't like to be on camera, honestly, at all. So as a result of that, I don't usually have Loom have me on camera here, but you could be on camera. So when I'm filming this, okay, I'm on camera down here while I'm showing it to them, or you could do what I do. I completely go off camera and I'm just filming this. And then think about how many endless opportunities you have just to film, something like that, where you're coming in and you're doing this. Now, outside of using fancy video equipment, I need to let you know, you might say, look, I looked at a Canon EOS 80D and it's like $500 and I don't have $500. Dude, no big deal. I use the video you just saw me on a few minutes ago when I had Loom fired up. This one here, this video that you're seeing right now is using my Logitech camera. That's clear, right? By the way, I've got my dogs are just chilling in here. There's my shepherd right there. There's my Great Dane. She's chilling. My Pomsky was somewhere around here. They hang out with me while I'm filming this. Guys, that's a clear video. Like, this is a crystal clear video. It's 1080 high def, and it's a Logitech camera. It costs like $60 or $80. Mine's wide, so it has the whole room in here. But again, you don't need a lot of money to do these because you could fire something like this up, Logitech, $60, $80. And I filmed most of my videos for many years using this exact format until I saw Josh's, and I liked how his had the face clear and the background blurry. So then at that point, I switched to another camera. But for many years, I used the same Logitech camera you're seeing here. That's $60, $80 to be able to get it. This is a Logitech HD 1080. There's all different kinds, and the models have changed through the years, so I won't tell you that. But this is super cheap, and it's easy to do. And again, if I'm coming in here, for example, and I'm doing an Experian report review, and I can come in and have this part over here over my Experian credit report review. So just some other stuff as we do that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you have questions, go ahead and get them answered. I've ignored your camera. And thanks for the tips on Ralph says, if you have any other questions before I wrap up, go ahead and type them in. Ralph says, hey, great info, and thanks for the tips on software and equipment. What kind of microphone do you use? So I use, let me go back here, and I'll show you what I use, guys. Again, just so you know, I did not use a microphone, anything other than my webcam for a long time, and I'll show you. It's not letting me do that now. Let me go here to Loom. Okay, and I'll show you exactly what I'm using so you guys can figure that out, see that as well. Here, let me see if it's going to let me record the Loom. Okay, so I use 2 things. The first one I use is a Logitech headset. I love this thing. This thing is, again, $60 to $80. I used this thing for many years to record video or to record audio, and I still use it whenever I do my YouTube live. I don't know what model this is. This is what it looks like. Okay, but this is just a Logitech headset. Super simple. I've got a little control right here that turns it on, off, mutes it. This is what I use for almost all my audio. Now, if I'm going to be on video like you see me now, And by the way, this audio might not be as good because sometimes it pulls from my webcam. I have an Audio Techna microphone here. It's a podcasting microphone that I use. So I have this thing here, which is like it helps the sound. And then it's an Audio Technica ATR. Oh, wow. I think I'm losing my eyesight. I'm getting old. ATR 2100. ATR 2100 microphone. This microphone is $60. Okay, it's a professional microphone. It cost me $60 to have done. It's an Audio Technica ATR 100. There's a lot of these ATR microphones that are out there, but this is what I use. I have this thing here. This thing clamps to my desk. Okay, and then I have this, and my speakers connect right to it. And then I have this filter that sits on top of it. And then that is now my microphone. I now use this. It's one of those things, man. I'm cheap. I'm cheap. And so I can't believe that I waited so many years to get a nice microphone and it cost me $60. That's one of those things that I waited for way too many years to buy something that's pretty affordable. But I love this ATR microphone. It works really, really, really well. And the audio sound is really good. If the audio on this webinar is not as good, it's not the mic. It's because it's possibly pulling it from my Logitech webcam. Sometimes GoToWebinar defaults on that. But good question. This is a really good microphone. And the Logitech headset works good too. I just don't use that as much because now that I'm on video more with Head and Shoulders, I don't like to have that contraption on my head. So I use the ATR microphone. But very good question. That was great. Do you archive these? Yeah, all of our webinars are archived, guys. They're all in your back office. If you go into Partner Resources Live training webinars, every webinar I've done since I started doing webinars in 2012 is there. So that's about like a lot. It's a lot. That's like 8 years worth of videos there. That's hundreds of all my archived content is there. What service do you recommend? Did you, Ty, recommend at Fiverr for? I recommended Fiverr for video editing. Is what I did, and you can go back and play this. It should be available for playback as soon as tomorrow. So I'm going to wrap this up. That's what you need to know. I mean, you know, everybody, I'll fire this thing up. I kind of liked it. This was kind of nice. Now I'm just looking at the microphone, even though like I'm not even on anymore. But now I'm back. So now you know everything that you need to know to be able to record videos. It's super easy. We've talked about expensive equipment like the EOS 80D camera, which I absolutely love. Well worth the investment. By the way, you don't need to use it for work. I can use this camera to film video and audio for everything to do with my family, my dogs, my kids, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then we talked about the ATR microphone, really good microphone, the pop filter that came with it. I got it as part of a package, $60 for the mic, got the extension arm here that connects to my desk. It's all super cheap to get this done in my mind. $60 for a professional microphone is just really affordable. We talked about the Logitech HD 1080 webcam that I'm using right now that you can use as well. We also talked about the Logitech headset that you can use as well. We talked about Fiverr you can use for editing. We talked about multiple different forms of videos like this, head and shoulders, where you're just filming like this. I showed you my other format where I have the background of just this is not my Canon camera right now, but if oh, she's not happy. This is the other dog here, Bear. She's our newest addition to our family. So if you ever hear our dogs while I'm doing the webinar, now you know what's really going on. So that being said, you now know the cameras we use. You know the microphones we use. You know the format I use with the background being blurred out. We've talked about text training tips that are a minute. We've talked about longer form videos that are 3 to 5 minute videos like this. We've talked about being able to use this technology here with Loom, L-O-O-M, that's free to record either your screen and this little image that you see here, or also you're able to come in and just be able to use Loom to just record your screen or just you, so you know how to do that. We talked about exactly what you need to do to get these videos organized. Write down your topics, write down your script. I showed you a great example of a teleprompter that's $164, how to freestyle content like this, how to use a teleprompter if you don't want to freestyle. So we went over a lot of stuff today, and now you know just about everything you need to know to get recording videos. Don't make it complicated. My advice to you is grab a simple headset like Logitech, super cheap, affordable. Grab a simple webcam like the Logitech webcam and just start doing content. If you're uncomfortable freestyling, then grab the teleprompter. It's not cheap, 164 bucks. It's not expensive either. And then you could just type in the content on your iPad or iPhone, or maybe you use those Android things. I don't know. But whatever, you can use that in a teleprompter and make it super simple and easy to do. And just so you know, this is what happens. If you hear growling while I'm doing webinars, these two are best friends, and all they do is fight with each other. The 9-pound Pomsky and the 160-pound Great Dane, which is probably why I don't go on video very often, because this is the chaos that's ensuing behind me. So anyways, I think we did a pretty good job. I think we went over a lot of stuff with video. So I'm going to wrap this up. I don't see any other questions. If you have any other questions, let us know. support@creditsuite.com. Otherwise, just take action. I'm telling you, I've never been comfortable on video either. I don't like being on video. Believe it or not, as many videos as I produce. That's why my webinars, I'm usually not on camera. I don't like to be on camera. Okay, but again, in order to get comfortable, you just have to do it. Just get in front of a camera and do it again and again and again until you become comfortable. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you do. And just like me, you're able to knock out 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 videos in one day. I showed you today how to be able to do it, to produce a bunch of content that you can use. We even talked about how to build a funnel and all these other cool things to do. So if you have any other questions, then let us know. Support@creditsuite.com. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap everything up. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. See ya.